We have to put up a screen cap of the famous paper, The Inaccessibility of Science, that says, like, click here to purchase.
Yeah.
We have to put that one up. Our editor can find that. And then you pulled a couple of other examples here. The first of which I think has some principles that are good publishing principles, regardless of which niche of science you're in.
Yeah, I love these core ideas. And both of these articles, thank you for publishing them open access. If you write an article and talk about publishing results, that's a broad spectrum thing, and then put it behind a paywall.
We have to put up a screen cap of the famous paper, The Inaccessibility of Science, that says, like, click here to purchase.
Yeah.
We have to put that one up. Our editor can find that.
Yep. But anyway, this article is actually out of an agricultural science journal, but the core ideas can be taken away across any discipline. It is publish results that conflict with current assumptions, look beyond current fads, autophagy, etc. Break with discredited but popular assumptions. So it talks about a lot of different, biochemical preconceptions in the agricultural industry in the 60s. But they talk about how the peer-reviewed system makes it difficult to get a paper published that questions established assumptions, which certainly makes sense. That's why you see a lot of these tiny journals, low impact factor, and usually most people that publish one do not want to publish open access, because not only does the journal not get money paid to them for doing that, you have to pay the journal money. So the journal doesn't want to just publish something for the good of public health. They're a business too.
Yeah, and then if you are let's say you happen to be a reviewer sitting on the board of JAMA, and you have a controversial paper that goes against a lot of things that are well established in the medical community, you might be likely to, nitpick that to the point of it going and getting published somewhere else, just because you don't want to be the person that's like, who approved, someone reading that, who approved this paper, and then your name's there as a reviewer.
Yep. I saw another interesting paper. It talked about Garfield's demons, but I believe Eugene Garfield was the scientist that came up with impact factor many decades ago. And he has a lot of interesting, editorial publishings that people would be interested in reading. But some of them talk about publishing results versus unexpected results. And there's also a lot of papers about basically clickbait titles in scientific literature. Compared to 50, 100 years ago, it's much more common, 11 times as common, to put unexpected in your title and get people to click on it. However, those papers do not get any more citations. So what some of these articles say is clickbait titles in scientific journals are not going to get you more
Perhaps
citations.
more views, but you're not going to get more citations. And I think the citations is a metric that can affect the how impactful your paper is from just objectively as opposed to subjectively.
Those are the three ways that you flex as a scientist: is your number of citations, the impact factor of your journals, and the number of published articles, which is just kind of interesting. I don't think it's good or bad. It's just how it is.
I enjoy creative titles. I think I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I know we've mentioned some that I've said, hey, I appreciate this title because it was creative.
Applying this to medicine a bit more, this is a more recent article from 2019, and it's in the OB-GYN. It's in a major OB-GYN journal, and it talks about dealing with unexpected results. So in this specific article, it talks about the difference between some of the trials for hysterectomy or removing the uterus after cervical cancer, and how they did good randomized controlled trials. And this is specifically with randomized controlled trials. With some scientific questions, there's no systematic review, there's no meta-analysis that you can go to. The research is still ongoing. And in England, I believe they did laparoscopy and had better results, less cancer recurrence. And they do more laparoscopic hysterectomies, radical hysterectomies in England. It's a common thing. They're familiar with it. The uterine manipulator, the details don't really matter as much, but they're better at doing that. So perhaps that's why they got better results. In the United States, the open hysterectomy had better results for like less cervical cancer recurrence and whatnot. So obviously the question at the end is, well, let's repeat this result and figure out exactly why. Let's not just hypothesize about it. But until then, what do you do? So yeah, it's like your classic brand new doctor at a residency. There's not an algorithm or a guideline from a society to do. I have no idea what to do. But this just basically talks about how it is great that both of these studies had good experimental design. They discussed their limitations. They discussed the strengths, and they published completely conflicting results, because now individuals who are treating patients with cervical cancer have they can use their mind,
Clinical judgment.
and whatever they are best at doing. Perhaps if they're great at doing open hysterectomies and they've been doing those for 30 years and they've never done a laparoscopic hysterectomy, and they're the only person in the area that can treat this patient with cervical cancer, perhaps they don't read this one study that's published that talks about how you're going to get better results if you do laparoscopic surgery.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at trends in other surgical specialties, it seems like minimally invasive is the way that things have gone. But obviously, if you're telling someone to do something that they don't want to do, they're not comfortable doing, they have less experience with, you're probably, at least initially, not going to have better outcomes with that. So that's another variable, and I'm not sure quite how you would account for that.
Yeah, it's a similar thing in a lot of specialties. We get a lot of questions about vasectomies. And, should you use clips? Should you do ties? Should you do an open-ended vasectomy? And there's a lot of ways that you can do it. Should you pull up the fascia when you do it? There's some things like no scalpel technique that, as long as you're trained to do it, make a lot of sense. But there are multiple good ways to do the same surgery in general. If your surgeon has done it the same way many, many times and there's not a huge difference, there's more than one good way to do it.